There are people that are getting ready to walk away from the faith. As a matter of fact, they were examining God but never submitted to God's examination. Let me help you here. You can bring your doubts and all of your hurts and insecurities and begin to question God. There's no problem with that. God has no problem with that. But God is asking you, even in that process, to submit your whole heart, not just the questions that you have and your hurts and your feelings, but also even the knowledge that you have of understanding that He is Lord. So even your deconstruction is only done because He told you that you could do so, because you're submitting that to Him by bringing everything to Him, that although something is wrong, I also understand that I am wrong, and I am willing to go through your examination of search me, O God, and see if there be any wicked way within me. Lead me in the way of everlasting, while also understanding that, yes, God, I'm hurt over here. I don't understand this. Listen, I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm trying to help you to understand something, that God is warning us of a people that are getting ready to walk away because of these private deconstructions that they've done in the private, and they haven't rebuilt God's way. And in fact, you're listening to them. God literally began to show me that that these people were pouring into you, and many of you that you're not asking God if you should even be listening to people like myself. You're not asking God. You're hyping these people up because they're actually, in fact, feeding your flesh. They're feeding your carnality. They're feeding the areas where God is actually trying to get you to change. That God may be wanting you to kill some things. I'm trying to help you. I promise you, I'm not being mean. I feel the compassion and the passion of the Lord. So with that being said, let me just point something out here to you. There's nothing wrong with deconstructing, but even the deconstruction must be submitted. It becomes wrong when you've already decided to walk away, meaning that you already decided to not acknowledge Him as all sovereign God, to not acknowledge Him as Lord, to not acknowledge. Listen, the Bible says that we come boldly before the throne of grace in our time of need. Even deconstruction is a time of need. But there are people who have already decided to not bring their whole heart, but they are examining God and not understanding that God requires in order for you to come before me, to even examine me, I am also examining you. And there's some things that I may have against you while you also have something against me. So let's settle this out the way that it's supposed to be. You in submission and understanding that I am He. Listen, I'm telling you, this is the word of the Lord right now. Listen, the Lord is warning, especially those of you who are you're building off of people and not the firm foundation, who is Jesus Christ. So there are a lot of you who are indeed deconstructing your faith based off of people, without understanding that when Jesus said this, we skip past this verse. We have to behold the word. So with that being said, there are many of you who don't understand this very scripture that I think the Lord really wants you to know. He said, they will know that you are my disciples by how you love one another. Please understand that that scripture alone is not limited to those outside of Christ, and understanding that you belong to Christ or you are a disciple of Christ based on how you love your brothers and sisters. But please understand that is also an extension and invitation to you to know that they are His disciples by how they love you. Listen to me. Jesus never based His existence on people, but there are so many of you who are out here literally basing His existence and willing to walk away from Him because you chose to behold people and not Jesus. He's like, behold me. Behold me. To build on anything less is foolishness. He is the firm foundation. If He's truly your firm foundation, you wouldn't build on people. There are people who have entered into the faith based off of their idolatry to people. So when people mess up, they get so upset, they get so frustrated that they begin to examine Jesus. But the reality is that you never beheld Jesus, you actually were beholding people.